G'day and welcome to the Inner Chief Podcast, episode 393, and this special minisode on leading at the right level. Chiefs, this is reasonably detailed. If you'd like to see what I'm talking about, make sure you watch it on YouTube or on the website at chiefmaker.com. This is critical for your track record, for getting results, and value creation and protection. I spend a lot of my time working with heads of talent, heads of HR, and CEOs talking about the level of leadership required in certain roles. And if someone is really operating at that level, they might say, oh, they're sort of too much in the weeds. They're not operating at level. They're not doing the work of the role, this kind of language. And in the back end behind all that, are some models and frameworks that are super helpful for understanding the work of your role to help you lead at the right level. So this is a bit of a technical session where I want to talk you through exactly what those leadership levels are, help you find what level you're at right now, what the work of that role is, and then how do you operate with both the level below and the level above where you are right now? Because you don't just do the level you're at, you actually do multiple levels. So Chiefs, let's get right into it. What are these levels of leadership? The first 6 levels are: level 1 is your frontline and clerical staff. This is when maybe you start your career, or a lot of the time you might spend a lot of your whole life there, right? This is a frontline operator delivering a service, working directly with a customer, and doing the frontline operational work of a role. Okay, it's direct output, and it's really, you're just talking about today, maybe the week. It's just working out how to deliver that this week. That's your time horizon. That's all I've got to think about. I don't have to think about 6 months from now. I've just got to think about doing the job today. I turn up, I do the work, I go home, I have to think about it again. That's level 1. Level 2 is when you get promoted the first time, really, your first level of leadership, managers and specialists that are doing significant kind of work. And the work of this level of leadership is the diagnosis and improvement of existing delivery and operational systems. So in your organization you work for, there's a process or a system or a framework for delivering a service, creating a product, doing something like that. And their job, or the job of these level 2 leaders, is to diagnose, fix, look after, improve the existing system. Their focus is, how do we do this better? How do we organize our people and our staff to deliver this service in the next 3 months to a year? Almost none of their work is working on things that might take 2 or 3 years. It's really mostly this 3 months up to a year of planning, refining, continuous improvement kind of activity. Okay? That's a level 2 leader. A level 3 leader now is a unit departmental head. This is someone who's now got an entire department, normally of a single functional type, right? Not multiple functions, but one function. And what they do here is they do systems design. So now if the level 2 leader is working on the existing system, the level 3 leader is, hey, how do we design and implement new systems for operational and service delivery? How do we do that better? And that might take 1 to 2 years then to work that out. And they're thinking about the way their unit operates as an entire unit. How do I make this really work over time? That's a 1 to 2 year kind of framework. Okay. One level above that is a level 4 leader. Now this might be divisional, regional leadership. It actually could also be the CEO of a smaller business. Okay, and what they're working on is the integrations of multiple systems. And so they're working on these new systems being developed by a level 3 leader. And they're thinking, okay, how does that integrate with this system in another part of the organization? So we get this business-wide optimization of the policies, the process, the systems, the scoreboards, the things that make this organization work quite broadly. And that might take 2 to 5 years to get significant improvement, to get the capital, to deploy the people, to engage consultants, contractors, the team, to work on a project, to significantly improve the performance of an area. So that's a level 4 leader. Then there's level 5 leadership. And this is really now CEOs of national level organizations. So there are multiple regions within a country. It's not multiple states, multiple regions. So different laws, different requirements. So the complexity goes up. So they're talking about organizational growth and the protection of value now. So the sustainable growth, the protection of the organization, and the managing the shape, the size, and type of the business and its major systems. They're thinking sometimes 5 to 10 years out. Where's our vision? Where do we want to be 5 years from now? What have we got to create? The new services, a new product, the overall strategy that's going to get us to a new level of performance. The level above that, level 6, is now CEO of international or global organizations. So now they're thinking, hey, I've got organizations or businesses in all sorts of countries, in different jurisdictions. And so what I've got to do is look at how all these organizations as a whole fit together. The type, the location, the size and function of all these businesses in a global framework of organizations. How do I move all those around and create value over time? And they can be thinking up to 10 years in advance. Talking long-term major deals that really might make change. So that's the level of leadership. I'm just going to give you some examples of a little bit more detail on each of these. So frontline level 1 leaders leads daily shift teams, focuses on executing the daily plan, sticking to process, mentors operators. Go up a level, review and develop local procedures, projects that develop skills, build culture, improve standard operating procedures, right? They do data analysis, they adjust plans. So it's really these operational kind of leaders, right? Now we go to level 3, unit and departmental heads. This is at 6 months now to 3 years kind of focus. They oversee departments and programs of work through integrating and aligning systems. The stuff that's happening right now. But it's all within a single field of knowledge, right? So they might align the remuneration system to business priorities and KPIs and performance management discussions. So they're really thinking about making sure that everyone, okay, there's my KPIs, here's our remuneration, that's for this division, we're going to get this right. That's a unit departmental head, okay? They develop the capability of the people within that unit to make sure we're making or delivering services better, more efficiently to a higher level, and they're just getting the culture right in that area, okay? So that's that unit and departmental head, still really focused on single function. Okay, up to level 4, as we said before, regional divisional head, maybe a significant size GM, EGM, small business CEO. There's a level 4 leader. They're talking 2 to 5 years. So now this is someone who leads that core division or side of the business and manages a complex array of relationships and strategies in that area. It's a pretty decent kind of role now. Okay, they deliver on the strategic aims of the entire business. They integrate the systems that go across fields. So now you're talking about, hey, how does remuneration connect to business improvement projects to lower cost production or service delivery? They're looking across the business. They're working with HR and finance and operations, or they're working with sales and technology to bring these things together, and the legal department. It's this cross-functional connection now. This is really good systems level leadership. Requires broader thinking, complex kind of thinking. Right, we've got one more. As I said, this is the CEOs now of national level organizations, and they're looking at the strategic operational leadership and the development of end-to-end systems, cultural transformation, capital projects that add value and protect value the company as a whole. Okay? At this level, we're doing a lot of stakeholder management, where it's shareholders, it's board, it's government, it's media. It's a very, very different kind of organization. Every level you go up, number of stakeholders increases. As I said before, CEOs of international organizations, 5 to 10 year focus, and they're looking at the overall strategic direction of a group of companies. They're looking at global, geopolitical, economic, social, legal, environmental, industrial trends. They deal at length with boards, investors, stakeholders, and governments. It's a very, very big, long-term kind of role. It takes time to get traction. So, chiefs, these are the levels of leadership. What's interesting and what's important is to know what level you're at. And here's an interesting piece. To be highly effective and be a true chief, you actually have to work at all three levels. By three levels, I mean your level, the level below, and the level above. Remember, when you get promoted into a leadership role, it doesn't mean you just stop understanding the detail. In fact, all leaders really must know their business pretty intimately. They need to be able to answer those questions to the CEO, to the board, to shareholders. That's really, really important. You've got to be able to describe the risk, what you're doing to fix that, where's strategy, what are the key projects, who's responsible and who's accountable for that. The goal, though, is to engage in detail in the right way. So if you're a level 4 leader, you also need to do level 3 kind of work. Or if you're a level 3 leader, you need to do some level 2 kind of work. So when you're working at the level below you, the people that report to you, you help your team solve problems, right? Your across-house systems are working to risk and capability. And you're really helping the people report to you do that work. You're careful not to do the work unless something goes terribly wrong and you really do have to make sure something gets done right. That does happen. I know people say never, never do it. But you know what, Chief? There are times when you really do just have to roll up the sleeves, get your team together and lace up the boots and get it done. On high risk stuff that's mission critical, you can do that. The rest of the time, let your people do their job. If it's low risk, not mission critical, let your people learn and grow and delegate, and they will love you for it. So in that level below you, you're creating the conditions so others can do it. At your level, now your focus is on the right time horizon, the systems and metrics, the risks and decisions your level role is accountable for. This creates leverage across the business, leveraging who you are. So if you're a level 3 leader, know what your job is to do. Create new systems. Implement new systems. If you're a level 2 leader, know what you need to do is work on improving the existing systems and better service delivery and creating conditions for more improvement, better capability, and better operational outcomes. If you're a level 4 leader, now we're working across the business, integrating systems, collaborating with your peers. Okay? Chiefs, then you've got to work above level. You've got to understand your boss's role, actively contribute to understand the strategy, decisions, and challenges of the level above yours. One of the most important things to remember, Chief, is your number one team is your boss's team. It's not your departmental team. It's your boss's team that you are a member for. That is where you have to collaborate with your peers and work with your boss on delivering outcomes for that particular level of leadership. We'll often be away at executive retreats, and one of the things we say early, if this is the CEO and their team, is just remember your number one team is the exec team. That is most important that you deliver outcomes for that team. Your department, while really important, is a cog in the greater scheme of things. It is not more important than the executive team. So, Chief, remember you have to work at all levels, but really the one you're aligning with the most is your boss's role. Remember, we always say your boss is your number one customer. What we mean by that is serve them, help them nail their job, help them deliver their track record, because that means you should be in service of the organization as a whole. Then you're delivering ultimate value to your organization you work for. So, Chief, the highest value leaders spend time in all three levels during their work. The people that report to you, below you, at level where you're at, and above level, your boss's role. So, Chief, just do a little test. This is a bit of an exercise for you, right? What time horizon am I accountable for? Thinking about these levels of leadership. What system am I here to improve, design, or integrate? What decisions must sit with me? What must move lower? What work feels productive but is really dependency, rescue, or avoidance? So this is me doing work way below my level. And what track record or evidence would prove I have worked at the right level? So, Chief, a final exercise for you about leading at level. Question 1. What level is my current role? And how much time goes into level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 work? Make a little list there, Chief. Put level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, and put a percent next to each one. How much time am I spending in each of those? Question 2. What activities must I make my most important in order to work at my level? What have I got to do? And let's be more strategic thinking time. It might be running better projects. It could be developing new people. It might be taking on a new system. What have you got to do right now? And just as importantly, what must I stop doing or push to lay below so that you lead at the right level? Okay, Chief. Final summary. Know your level, work at the level and the one above and below, and then prove it with evidence. Get that track. Chiefs, I hope that helps you understand what it means to lead at the right level. This is vitally important you understand this, and it sets you up for success when you're leading a high-performance team, because when you're designing the right people and what role they should be in, you can be thinking, oh, that's a level 2 leader I need there, or a level 3 leader I need there. Helps you understand your role in the grand scheme of things and how your role changes based on what the organisation needs. Righto, Chief, that sums it up for today. As always, remember to stay epic.